I'm with Freda McKissic Bush, and we just had this press conference here, a press luncheon, and talking about the crisis pregnancy centers or the pregnancy centers.
As far as my organization, I'm working with the Crisis Pregnancy Center of Metro Jackson and the Women's Resource Center of Metro Jackson. And the first is a center that serves, as we've already enumerated, the abortion alternatives, which provides resources for women, but also provides them with information about life and referral for prenatal care and financial assistance, et cetera, if they need it. The Women's Resource Center actually does the same thing, but targeting the African American community because of the high rate of abortion in the African American community. And we do significant outreach to churches and to community organizations to try to let the women know that there are alternatives to making that choice in their lives.
And as far as the statistics you were talking about in the African American community, people might not know what you're talking about. What are those statistics?
African Americans are 13% of the United States population, and we get 37% of the abortions. And that equates simply to, for every 2 African American women who get pregnant in the reproductive age group, at least one of them will have an abortion. And at that rate, a significant number of African Americans are never seeing life. It is having a detrimental effect on our community as far as replacement value, but also on the attitudes and behaviors in the community, the devaluing of life in all areas. And it is significant. People are just not aware of it and are more seeing the right to choose as being superior to the right to life.
Yeah, definitely. And what would you say to people out there? You know, they might not believe this is going on as far as those rates go. I mean, they're staggering. And if something like this were happening in any other community, let's say with another race or another group, I think there would be an outcry about this. Do you perceive that there's perhaps some long-held racism that goes along with this?
Well, there is. You cannot neglect to consider racism as a portion of it, or some people even go so far as to call it black genocide. But I cannot, point a finger except to looking at the origin of Planned Parenthood. The Margaret Sanger and some of the writings that she did significantly talk about reducing undesired. And so play it forward, here we are in 2009, and it seems as though it is in actuality.
Yeah. How do people find out more about your organization, and if they need help, where do they go?
They can contact the center through CareNet or International Heartbeat International. If they wanted to contact me personally, they could just contact drfredabush.com. I am medical director of both of those centers, but I also am an advocate for primary prevention messaging. And so I try to help women make other choices before they get pregnant so that they can make healthier sexual decisions.
That's great. Well, thank you, Doctor. And I neglected to introduce you that way, but we appreciate you taking the time to speak with us.
You're welcome.